Buenos días. Mi nombre es Karen Burgi. Bienvenido a la Iglesia Unitaria Universalista de la Misión Shawnee. ¿Quién quiero que seas? ¿Quién quiero que ames? Donde quiera que estés en el viaje de tu vida, eres bienvenido aquí. Good morning. I'm Karen Burgi. Welcome to Shawnee Mission Unitarian Universalist Church. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. We are so happy that you've chosen this sanctuary and time. That you're here is something to celebrate. We extend an especially warm welcome to our visitors. We'll be waiting to chat with you at the welcome desk after the service. Remember, we were all newcomers once. And if you're joining us online, please say hi in the chat. We now invite everyone to rise and greet each other.
Good morning. For our first announcement, I would like to invite Fisk Miles forward.
Good morning, everyone. This is the kickoff of our stewardship campaign. Strength Like a Mountain is our theme this year. We have our all-church potluck lunch after the service, and I'm just going to briefly do Stewardship 101, the refresher, so that people understand why we arrange the stewardship campaign the way we do. And interestingly enough, it's driven by the fact that the church financial year begins on July the 1st. And according to our bylaws, so it runs from July the 1st to the following June 30th. According to our bylaws, the board must approve a balanced budget at the June board meeting. And so in the stewardship campaign, what we ask everyone to do is make your pledge for the coming year. And you don't have to pay it during the stewardship campaign, but by making your pledge and saying, well, this is the amount that I will contribute to the church in the coming year, then that money can be used to balance the budget. And we start in February so that we have sufficient time to rearrange the budget depending on what we raise during the stewardship campaign. So what we ask everyone to do is think about your situation, financial situation, and what you can comfortably contribute to the church, and make your pledge during the campaign, which ends on April the 12th. So it begins this Sunday. Haley Chafin is will be in the fellowship hall. You can pledge online. We have email updates that come out each week. So, and then there are plenty of people who can answer your questions about making a pledge and how you do your pledge. But the goal of the campaign is for everyone in the congregation, members and friends, to make your pledge for the coming year during our campaign. And that is so that the board can balance the budget at the June board meeting. Thank you, everyone.
And lucky for us, our stewardship campaign has an anthem. So if you would please rise as you're willing and able for our stewardship anthem. We have strength like a mountain. We have strength like a mountain. We have strength like a mountain in this place. We have strength like a mountain. We have strength like a mountain. We have strength like a mountain here in this place. You may be seated. And now, throughout the stewardship campaign, we have a few special things that we do during the service. The first is that we have a stewardship testimony today from our own Carla Green. Come on up.
Good morning. So my name is Carla Green, and it is my pleasure to help kick off the 2026 Stewardship Campaign with my love letter to this courageous church. My family moved to Kansas 8 years ago at the tail end of my husband Scott's Army career. It wasn't our first time in Kansas. It was our third, actually. But with a view towards retirement, we expected a slower pace to this assignment, and fingers crossed, we might even be able to stay put here for a while. In light of this possibility, finding a church was a new and kind of weird item on our to-do list. Although we'd both grown up with religion, me a little, him a lot, it didn't stick in a meaningful way for either of us. On a few occasions when we were new to an area, we'd gotten the question from well-intentioned neighbors, "Have you found a church yet?" They like to ask this question in the South a lot. We've been asked this often enough that we came up with our favorite response, which was, "Oh no, we home church." This, of course, was a lie. A little joke to ease the tension of an awkward question. We didn't home church. We didn't church at all. But now we were looking. Our search grew out of a desire for our 3 school-aged daughters to get thoughtful, unpressured exposure to spiritual ideas that might spark some interest for them and lead them to exploration on their own. And short of that, they might just gain a better understanding of the cultural significance of faith communities in general. For me, it was a readiness for connection with a fresh crop of people. Let me find my spot, you guys. It'll be better if I read it. For me, it was a readiness for connection with a fresh crop of people whose values were aligned with mine, and an eagerness to find purpose in this new chapter after the Army. At the suggestion of a friend, I'd researched Unitarian Universalism, and my hopes were high because it sounded like a perfect fit. Our first visit to SMUUCh was in 2018, and it made quite an impression. The repurposed elementary school was charming and unpretentious. The grounds were natural and beautiful, and the people so welcoming and friendly. Our initial contact was with a very nice lady named Vicki Trott. She's here. She's probably out at the desk, who helped these nervous first-timers get their name tags at the welcome table. She is now my friend. A man who immediately reminded me of a beloved uncle I hadn't seen in ages stood up to make an announcement that morning. I don't remember the announcement, but I do remember that he worked a subtle and hilarious wisecrack into the announcement that actually made me laugh out loud. I would eventually come to learn that smart, dry humor is kind of his specialty. His name is Jim Christ. And he is now, too, my friend. So many other things captivated my attention at that first service, but one I have the pleasure of revisiting over and over again is our profoundly poetic covenant. Sometimes I wish I could go back and hear it for the first time all over again. To the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine, Thus do we covenant with one another. I remember thinking, yes, please, I'll have some of that. Those words were exactly what I needed to hear that day, and reciting them as a congregation remains a high point for my week, even now. My world was flipped upside down when my husband took his life in June of 2021, 1 year short of retirement. The first several months after losing him was a fog of grief, and I was stumbling through it, trying to figure out which way was up. My daughters and I were well supported and loved by our family, friends, and our military community. But the overwhelming sadness and mountain of decisions we were faced with couldn't be delegated and couldn't be avoided. Where would we live? How would we live? And how is this even a real thing? As the dust settled, we decided on a 2-year plan that would keep us in Kansas long enough for my 2 older daughters to graduate from high school. We could figure out the rest later. Well, this is the part where SMUUCh became my life raft, my blue boat home. Rev Rose suggested that I join a Soul Matters group, and I am forever grateful that you did that. The deep sharing and deep listening with these new friends who had so much life experience helped me to see that my life would indeed be good again. None of them had lived through the exact same nightmare I was in, but they all had weathered devastating heartbreak, uncertainty, health scares, and personal crises of one kind or another. No one gave me advice or tried to fix me, because those are the rules, but rather they showed me the way by being examples of living with intention, seeking connection and joy every day, and not being defined by life's hardships. I'll never have the words to convey just how much this group meant and still means to me, but I carry a heart full of gratitude to John, Donna, Maura, and Wayne for their friendship and love during that tender time of grief and healing. On Tuesday mornings, I started digging in the dirt with the gardening group. No 2 days in the garden were ever the same. Sometimes the work was simple and tedious. Other times it was challenging but gratifying. When the weather was glorious, we rejoiced in it, and when the weather was crappy, we'd cancel for the week. Some days, pulling weeds felt like meditation. Other days, it felt like utter madness. Gardening serves as a reminder that we can't control everything, and you never know what you might find in the garden if you pay attention. A lesson in patience, the marvel of new growth, or those pruning shears you lost in the asters last summer. That's a true story. Music has always provided an escape for me, but my time with the choir gave me a deeper appreciation for the unmatched experience of making music together, which I hadn't done since high school. I'm an okay singer, but adding my voice to a stronger, richer collective voice with harmonies and accompaniment evolved into a physical phenomenon that I could feel in my belly. You can't help but be uplifted in those moments when it all comes together. Well, what a gift to feel that. Daniel, thank you for the vision that you bring to the music program here and the exceptional gift you share in this space every single week. Your musical magic is an essential piece of the worship service, and we are so, so lucky to have you. Our brilliant staff and passionate lay leadership have created a robust environment that offers more opportunities for connection and ways to participate in the work of the church than I could possibly list. If you are new here, I hope you will grab a bulletin or grab a member and find something that resonates with your interests. And if you've been here a while, consider trying something new. This is how we covenant together. So I'm getting to the end of my stewardship spiel here, and I'm sure you're all wondering, what about the money? When is she going to talk about the money, right? Because I had one job here, right? That was to bring up the money. Okay, I know. So here it is. Communities like this don't just happen. The tricky part is when communities like this are at their very best, they do look like they just happen. And I think that is so true for SMUUCh. But it was the generosity and the financial commitment of the SMUUChers who came before some I've met, but many more that I will never meet, who built and sustained this vibrant, beloved community and ensured that I had a soft, safe place to land when I needed it. Now it is my turn to pay it forward, literally, and ensure that this space is still here, still ready to welcome the newcomer wherever they are on their life's journey. The work of this church does depend on us. It depends on me, and I am so proud to be a part of it. Thank you.
Okay, before I give you our staff highlight, which is the other thing you'll be getting every week, I want to give you our Black UU history moment of Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, who is the current president of the UUA. The duties of the president of the UUA are global, diplomatic, visionary, and administrative. It's a 6-year term, and she represents us to people all over the world. Prior to this role, she served as a professor at Yale, in 3 different senior minister positions across the states, where she has focused on ethics, mutual aid, justice, and theology. We're very proud to have her. But lest I lead you to believe that Black UU history is only happening over there, I bring you our own Black UU history in the making. Micah, would you come up here? Yeah! This here is Micah Rose Emerson, who, whenever I've paid her a compliment, has responded by saying, "No, I'm just regular." I really think she's exceptional, but she maintains her regularity. She is the first Black DRE we've had here at SMUUCh and has already brought an ethic of inclusion to our space that is far-reaching across our programs and shows the depth and breadth of her experience in education, administration, intergenerationality, universal design, and nonprofits. But the thing that really drew me to her as a DRE was that she seemed to have a very solid perspective on what we do here at church. When I told her one day my daughter was coughing at night, she showed up the next day with a humidifier saying, "We had 3." Which, if you think about it, really is the most regular thing in the world. She's right. It's the kind of thing we do here for each other regularly. I see you all also as being exceptional in the most regular ways. Micah Rose is a solid person, and I so look forward to where this church will be in a year, in 5 years, under her leadership. Come, let us worship. Please rise as you're willing and able for hymn number 168, One More Step.
One more step, we will take one more step, till there is peace for us, and everyone will take one more step. One every word is heard by everyone, we'll say one more word, one more song. We will sing one more song till every song is sung by everyone. We'll sing one more song.
As Cleo comes forward to light our chalice, we invite you to join as we recite our covenant. Let us affirm that love is the doctrine of this church, the quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship. The end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with one another.
Could I please have all the children come forward? Hi. Hi. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hi. Hola. Hi, everybody. Hola, Joaquinito. Hi, guys. Come on over. If you're little, come up to the front. Let's let these little kids come on up here. So today, in the service, Naya, Lisa, and the grown-ups are going to be talking about generosity. Do you guys know what it means to be generous? Yeah, what's it mean? It means to be doing things for others, giving things away. Giving something away when you really want it. Yeah? Giving something to others without assuming you're going to get something in return. Yeah. You could give something to somebody that you wouldn't usually give to them. Yeah, yeah. And what does it feel like to be generous? Yeah? Yeah, it feels really good, and it feels like you're doing the right thing, and you really want to do it every single day, right? So the way that we do this at church, we do this in so many ways. That's like the main thing that we do here at church is we're generous. So for example, we're generous with our shelter. So we're generous with our space because we so badly want people to have a place to stay. And we're generous with food in the pantry because we so badly want people to eat. And we're generous with each other on Sunday morning. We're generous with our music and with the kids and with each other when we see each other. And we're generous with our money. Here's what I have for you guys. Money, money, money. Okay. Who wants a little money? Okay. All right, suddenly everybody's very interested in Time for All Ages. Okay, here's one for you. Here's one for you. Here's one for you. Here's one for you. Here's one for Mom. Here's one for you. Okay, here's one for you. Here's one for you. For you. For you. For you. For you. For you. Everybody gets one. Here you go. Here you go. No, put it in your pocket. Here you go. No, thank you. Okay, here you go. All right. Here you go. Will you give this? No. Oh, she said no, thank you. Well, one second. Let me tell you what we're going to do with this money. All right, so you all have, some of you have pennies. Some of you have nickels. Some of us have nothing. Thank you, Joy. Here, Joy, you get the rest. I know, yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. Some of you have a whole A whole bunch of money. Joy's rich. Some of you have pennies, and some of you have nickels and dimes. Now I want you to take it, and I want you to put it in your pocket. Put it in your pocket. And you're going to save it until we get to Children's Chapel. What's Children's Chapel, you're all wondering? Well, today is the first day that we're going to do it. What? Okay. Just hold it in your hand. Okay, great. Okay, the complications are never ending. Okay, so once we get to Children's Chapel, what we're going to do, this is the first ever Children's Chapel that we're having. It's a new program we're launching today. I'm going to leave with the children. We're going to go into the multi-purpose room. We're going to sit in little rows. We're going to light a chalice. We're going to say, we are Unitarian Universalists with minds that think, hearts that love, and hands that serve. And we're going to light the chalice, and then we're going to sing a song with Will, our guitarist, is going to sing a song with us. And then we're going to light a chalice, and we're going to do an opening reading, and we're going to sing more, and then we're going to have a story, and then we're going to do a ritual, and then we're going to pass the baskets, okay? Passing the baskets is where we pass them around, and you are equipped. You are going to put your little penny in. And no matter how much you have, a penny or a quarter, it does not matter. You put it into the basket, okay? All right, so then, guess what we're going to do? We're going to collect the money, but we're not going to know how much we have. So I'm going to need 2 volunteers who are going to go with the ushers to go to the office and count how much money we made. Is anybody? Yeah? Okay, you can go. All right, twinsies, you guys go. Our ushers today are Greg Hack and Cindy White. Are they here? Okay, there's Greg. Will you stand up so the kids can see you, Greg? And is Cindy? Okay. Sweetest ushers on the planet. Perfect. All right. So, any questions about this? Yeah? We put it in the so even on Sunday morning in here, we pass the baskets, and we all put money into the basket, and then that money goes to the church. And the reason that we do that is we pool all of our resources here at the church, because together we can do so much more than we could individually. Any other questions about financial philosophy of the church? Yeah? Can you also help? There will be many, many, many chances to help. So, and next time, if you guys have a piggy bank, I want you to go into your piggy bank and think about what you can bring to put into the basket to give to the church, okay? Any other questions? Any last thoughts? Okay, parents or guardians are all welcome to come to Children's Chapel with us, but you are not required. We're going to be 0 to 18 in there. Wish us luck. Okay, let's go.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the Spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
This space always makes me feel so good. Each month, we as a community take time to reflect on a theme. The children do this in their classes, and we do it here in worship and in our small groups. This month, the theme is embodying resilience. So it's been a fun week for me. I got this from Elvis Presley on Friday in Daniel's show, Elvis and Elton, which is amazing, by the way. And then the Wednesday before, I had to break ties with someone that I have known for the last 4 years. Rosemary Watala Traumer said, "Any shields I would build up as barriers do not protect against wounds. Instead, they seem to say, be with what aches, dear. Trusting discomfort is the only way. And then my favorite saying from 2005 comes from David Rossi on Criminal Minds. And he said, "Scars remind us of where we've been. They do not have to dictate where we're going." Sorry. I have been wounded deeply many times, and I have many scars. And this week I was in some deep discomfort that I had to sit with, and then I had to deal with the aftermath, and I had to bounce back and become resilient once again. Now, the end of this relationship that I just talked about was when this person said, "But you hurt me first." Now, we had been friends for 4 years, and we talked often, at least once a month, if not more, and I was aware that he was horribly wounded. He needed someone to really listen, and I became that person for him. We have also been part of the same support group for displaced clergy, and he had recently become executive director of a place for the unhoused, and I had started to volunteer there. Problem started about 9 months ago, when I got tired of him saying to me, I. And he never took the time to listen to what I had to say. It became a real problem just before Christmas, when I called him out on a different behavior, and he jumped down my throat. I had my reasons for doing that, and they're good reasons. And about that time, he also began to trash the people that we both knew, people that I trusted and loved and respected. I was afraid to say anything for fear he would jump down my throat again. My body kept the score of these things by having me walk around on eggshells around him, or dreading him coming over to talk with me. He resigned from our group, our support group, a week ago. When I saw him this past Wednesday, he asked me how his resignation had been received. And it made me nervous. But I told him that I thought how he did it was unprofessional, because he had sent it out by text message to the whole group, including the 3 people in charge of the group. Now, you don't do something like that over social media. It's totally unprofessional. And he said, I hurt him by saying that. And because I am who I am, I smoothed it over. We got through the day. Okay. But at the end of the morning, when I was getting ready to leave, and I had things set up so that I could give him ashes, because we're both part of clergy. And before I could get started, he said, "But I need you to understand, blah, 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 blah." And I told him, really, I had to go. And I think we needed to, and he interrupted me saying, "But I need you to understand." And I said, "Let me finish, please." He looked like I had punched him in the gut. I continued about how I was tired of him always interrupting me and others at our group meetings. I said, "You really don't listen to other people because you are so focused on yourself, and that hurts when you do that." And that's when he said, "But you hurt me first." Now, the next 2 words, I will not tell you what I said. Not appropriate for this space. But my body sagged, and I shut down, and I said, "Enough, I'm done. I can't do this anymore." And I left. How do I recover from this? Well, the next week was the group meeting. And in our group, the first hour we discuss a reading, we have a break, and then we have what's called a check-in. How you doing? How's your week been? After our break, the leader said to me, "So we need," not to me, to the group, sorry, "we need to talk about the elephant in the room," meaning this person's resignation. And because it affected it all, I knew I had to listen to everybody else first. And it was hard. I heard things that night that totally shocked me about him. and how he had treated other people in this group, how he had lied to all of us, and how he had manipulated me. I cried during all of that, and I cried when it was time for me to tell my story. When I was finished speaking, people said things like, well, he was a real daffodil. He's a child. I'm so proud of you, though, Karen. You did the right thing. You are so loved. Because of their support, a boulder has been lifted from my shoulders, because being surrounded by the love of others is absolutely amazing. That is what has helped me through all of the rough times in my life when I needed to bounce back and be resilient. My good friend in Texas tells me so often how proud he is of me because I'm the strongest woman he knows. Okay, fine. Now, my journey through this will continue, and it still hurts. But it will continue because the love of so many people in that group and even more people in this community. And again, scars do not dictate where we're going. And my hope is that I'm able to always do this for all of you. Thank you.
Tell me your story and I'll tell you mine. I'm all ears. Take your time, we've got all night. Show me the rivers crossed, the mountains scaled. Show me who made you walk all the way here. Settle down, put your bags down. Ooh, we're all right now. We don't need to be related to relate. We don't need to share genes or a surname. You are my chosen family. So what if we don't look the same? We've been going through the same thing, yeah. You are my chosen family. Hand me a pen and I'll rewrite the pain. When you're ready, we'll turn the page together. Open a bottle, it's time we celebrate who you were, who you are. We're one and the same, yeah, yeah. We don't need to be related to relate. We don't need to share genes or a surname. You are my chosen family. So what if we don't look the same? We've been going through the same thing, yeah. You are my chosen family. I chose you, you chose me. I chose chosen family. I chose you, you chose We don't need to be related to relate. We don't need to share genes or a surname. You are my chosen family. So what if we don't look the same? We've been going through the same thing, yeah. You are my chosen family. Ooh. You are my chosen family. So what if we don't look the same? We've been going through the same thing, yeah. You are my chosen family.
Good morning. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nayalisa Cuevas, and I've been here for about 3 years, and the staff highlight is my wife. So yes, I am bragging just a little bit. We come to this place to see and to be seen, to teach and be taught, to hear and to be heard. Now reach over and nudge the person sitting next to you. We're here together, gathered in peace, in authenticity, and in intention. We also come to this place to share our joys and sorrows, so if you have a rare joy or a profound sorrow, please come forward and briefly share in 2 to 3 sentences and light a candle. And now I ask for the live stream to please be paused.
and sorrows in a shared heart.
We're going to have a shortened meditation today, so please just put your feet flat on the floor and take a deep breath and close your eyes. And let the bustle of getting here melt away and come into this space of holiness. And please join us for our meditative hymn, Even So.
Even though we are searching, even though we are hurting, even though when the world feels so disturbing, love will persist. We will persist. Even so.
Even though we are trying, even though we are crying, even though as the innocent are dying, love will persist. Love will persist.
Love will persist. We will persist. Even so. Even so. Even so.
Listen to an excerpt from his song titled Letters by Chancellor Bennett, aka Chance the Rapper. Dear body, bruised and broke body, abused, confused, and soak body, the light of his eye, the love in his hands, the one that got his love in advance, the love of his life, the covenant stands, the body, the nobodies, the ones that went back in search of more bodies, the ones that placed coins and mourned and washed feet, ones that watched a little bodies that lost all heat, the body. His child, his pride, his joy. If I have no words, my sore, my voice, I write to you with tattooed tears and heavy shoulders, an angel with a hand on his hip, the gun holstered. What is violence if not silence? So sling that rock and slay that giant. Slow load that Glock and kill that tyrant. So sing that song, we sing that harmony. A hum of a hymn touched the hem of his garment. A young drummer boy did a stint in the army. A rum-pa-pa-pum till the walls come crumbling. Strung up on a wood, but the sun comes in morning. Dear body, protect the body. Who's all coming? Just everybody. Line those dots, connect everybody. Love Chance P.S. Bless everybody. It was February 4th. I walked into what I thought would be a normal one-on-one with my boss. And to my surprise, HR was in the room. I sat down and I listened to the words that my boss had to say. She said that I was too much for racial justice. She said that I was elevating one population over another, yet not telling me what population I was elevating. And that I was on a slippery slope to reverse discrimination. You can imagine the shock that went through my body. I was sitting there listening to a white woman tell me, a brown Latina queer woman, that I was on a slippery slope to reverse discrimination. And she had already told me in meetings past that she wasn't for equity because of the liabilities that come with it, and that her only goal was equality. The following Tuesday, we had a follow-up meeting, and I went in there and reassured her that I was there for the mission, to enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to become productive, caring, and responsible citizens. And I told her I was there for the organizational values that can be summed up in pride, which means positive relationships, respect, integrity, diversity, and empathy. And I thought I had passed the test. And I thought I could just do my job. But the next day, I got another email for a follow-up meeting. And at this point, my body was no longer able to hold in the stress and pain of the past year under her leadership. I went into her office, tears streaming down my face, and I told her, I can no longer keep doing this. And this being having mystery meetings with no clarity on why, no clear understanding of the point of these meetings, yet dealing with all the anxiety that comes with it. And I told her all of the mystery was affecting my well-being. And I said, if there's anything you need to tell me, just do it now. And she told me that my work was good, but that I had been sowing division. And then she was eliminating my position, effective immediately. And as I walked out of her office sobbing, I knew I wasn't just carrying my own experience. I was carrying the experience of so many Black and brown people, and the weight of being told that you're a threat, that what you stand for is illegal, and that who you are is a liability. And you know, some of you listening this morning know what I'm talking about. You've been asked to be strong. You've been asked to keep fighting, to be patient, to wait, and you just don't have it anymore. And we talk about resilience as a positive thing, right? We say, oh, our kids are just so resilient. We say my community and my family are just as resilient because they forged a path forward. But we don't talk about the toll resilience takes on the body. And we don't talk about how being resilient is sometimes just exhausting. And sometimes we just don't have the strength to be resilient one more day. So what do we do when resilience is too hard? What do we do when we're just so tired? Well, to answer that question, I want to journey into a story from the Bible. And I know, as a seminary grad, I find that even when I don't want the Bible to be part of my daily life, there are stories that help make meaning out of mess. And this particular story was found in the Gospel of Mark. And in this story, there is a man who is paralyzed. And in those times, if you were not able-bodied, you were marginalized, right? You were an outcast. Very similar like today. But Jesus was coming to town, and he was staying at a house that ended up being packed. I remember when the Blackhawks, who is the hockey team for Chicago, won the Stanley Cup, right? And we were on a dynasty. I mean, we were living, okay? The Blackhawks were winning. Chicago was lit. It was a fun time. And my dad thought it was a great idea to take us downtown for the parade. And so, y'all, let me just tell you, it was so packed. I could hardly breathe. I literally thought I was going to die. Because if you moved right, you hit a sweaty arm that kind of smelled, you know? And then if you moved to left, you hit another sweaty arm that kind of smelled. And the air was so tight that I had to literally gasp for air. That's how packed it was in downtown Chicago. And I imagine that this house was just as packed. And there was this man on a mat stuck outside the house. And he saw others flourishing. He saw others getting the access he needed. And he saw how people walked by him as if he was invisible. And I can imagine he was probably thinking about all the times he had to be strong just to survive. Do y'all know what that feels like? But then the story takes a turn. There are these men that came along. And we don't know if they were relatives or friends or strangers, but they saw him. And they saw that there was no room for him in that packed house. And they didn't ask the man if he deserved to be there. They just grabbed him on his mat and started to carry him. And when they saw that they couldn't get through the door, you know what you do when you can't get through the door. You go through the roof. Right? Easy. Now, I am not an architect, but I know Phil was an architect in here. So if you want to ask him how they got up there and how they built a hole, you can go ask him after service. But they hauled a grown man to the top of a house and started tearing a hole in the ceiling. Now, I want you to talk back to me, okay? What happens if someone's working on your roof? Come on, shout it out. There's noise. What else is there? Dust. What else is there? You're like, that's it, Naya. What else do you need? All right, yeah. But right, yes, the noise. Think about the noise and the chatter, right? And the wrestling up there and the dust falling on everyone below, which means that whatever was happening inside that house had to stop because something was happening on the roof. And I can imagine the paralyzed man is seeing these men drill a hole in someone's house. And I can imagine him saying, "Why are you bringing attention to me? Stop," right? I don't want to be a burden. Because when you are marginalized, drawing attention to yourself can be dangerous. But they didn't care. They somehow got a hole up on the roof, and they lowered him down anyway. And Jesus had no choice but to see them. And he didn't just heal him. He looked at the faith of his friends, the ones who were going to make sure this man came down, because these men used their privilege. They used their bodies, and they used their hands to carry a man who couldn't carry himself. And as a result, the blessing was in abundance. It extended to the whole community, because whether you wanted to be changed that day in that house, whether you thought what was happening was real, whether you thought that this man is crazy, you were not going to leave that house the same way you came into that house. because you saw people carrying a marginalized man into a packed house to make sure he got what he needed. And I know that those people were changed. And so why does this story answer the question of what to do when resilience is too hard? Because without community, this man could not live to tell the story of his resilience. I was let go 2 weeks ago, and it's been heavy, and I haven't had it. But what truly has gotten me through is community. I mean, the same day I was fired, the majority of the staff wrote an email to the board because they knew it wasn't right. And every person who contacted me has told me that this division I sowed, the division I supposedly caused was actually the way I brought people together. And I went into my Soul Matters group and just cried. And they let me do that. And my wife lets me be a mess because I just don't have the strength to be strong. Because when we can't find strength to be resilient anymore, it is the community that holds us together. When the immigrants in our communities and in our neighborhoods can't do it anymore, we're supposed to stand up and show out. When Black and brown people are fearing for their lives every day, that's when we're supposed to stand up and show out. When people are saying ignorant things in our families, on the internet, in our board meetings, in our leadership meetings, in our workplaces, that's when we're supposed to stand up and show out. Because people have had to be resilient for far too long, and they are tired, and they are worn out. And I'm tired, and I'm worn out, and I'm unemployed. But when the mat is too heavy for one person to carry, it is our job to grab a corner, climb the roof, and make some noise. And it's time to stop asking people to be so resilient and start being the community that carries them through it. 2 weeks ago, Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio carried his community. And we witnessed a Super Bowl performance that was layered in meaning. And the truth is that before Bad Bunny could be Bad Bunny, there were many who came before him to pave the way. And many of you saw one of the men there. His name was Ricky Martin, who appeared as a guest performer. But you know, Ricky Martin had to play the game. He had to be digestible for our white folks. And I can only imagine the pain and the stress and the exhaustion that came with trying to pave a way. But there he was, with Bad Bunny, on one of the biggest stages in our world. And he got to sing about his assimilation, his pain, and how they can try to take away our rivers. They can try to take away our beaches and our land like they did Hawaii. But we will not let them. Bad Bunny carried Ricky's mat and made some noise. And as a result, the whole world was blessed. And the whole world, whether they liked the performance or not, or whether they could understand the performance or not, got to see what love on display looks like. That love on display looks like telling the hard truths of our history and how we carry them in our bodies. And when those bodies become too weak and too exhausted, it's the community who grabs a corner of our mats and holds us together and makes some noise. Because when exhaustion and tiredness comes, we show up and we show out. So I want you to turn to your neighbor and we say, we show up and we show out. Because as a community, we are here to show up and show out. Thank you.
Wow. So Rev Rose talked about generosity this morning. And the work of this church depends on us, our generosity of time, wisdom, and financial resources to help pay the bills. We invite you to give generously to support the ongoing work of the church. The offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation of our shared values.
We need some light. First of all, we need some light. You can sit here in the dark and all alone. It's a sorry sight. It's just you and me. We'll live, you'll see. Night after night, we'd sit and wait for the morning light. But we've waited far too long for all that's wrong to be made right. Day after day, wishing all our cares away, trying to fight the things we feel, but some hurts never heal. Some ghosts are never gone, but we go on. We still go on, and you'll find some way to survive, and you find out you don't have to be happy at all. To be happy, you're alive. Day after day, give me clouds and rain and gray. Give me pain if that's what's real. It's the price we pay to feel. The price of love is loss, but still we pay. We love anyway. Day after day, give me clouds and rain and gray, knowing that the darkest skies will someday see the sun. When our long night is done, there will be light. There will be light when we open up our lives, when we all search for the light, can fight that fight. There will be light. There will be light. There will be light.
Let us affirm that. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please rise as you are willing and able for our closing hymn, number 121, We'll Build a Land.
We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves all mourning. Oh, we'll build a promised land that can be. Come, build a land where people together, anointed by wisdom, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land where we bring the good tidings to all the afflicted and all those who mourn, and we'll give them garlands instead of ashes. Oh, we'll build a land where peace is born. Come, build a land where people together, anointed by wisdom, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll be a land building up ancient cities, raising up devastations from old, restoring ruins of generations. Oh, we'll build a land of people so bold. Come, build a land where people together, anointed by wisdom, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. Come, build a land where the mantles of praises resound from spirits once faint and once weak, where like oaks of righteousness stand her people. Oh, come, build the land, my people we seek. Come, build a land where people together, anointed by wisdom, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream.
May you find ways where you can show up and show out for those around you. Go in peace.